Introduction. Recovery from Sexual Addiction, A Man's Guide, addresses the man who struggles with unwanted sexual behavior. It begins with a description of sexual addiction, followed by an explanation of the underlying clinical factors associated with sexual addiction. The text also describes the toxic conditions associated with sexual addiction, such as the use of pornography and masturbation, the role of anger, anxiety, and depression in fostering sexual addiction, as well as codependency, sexual fantasies and thinking, sexual abuse, the addiction ritual and cycle, and isolation. The journey to sexual sobriety takes time. A therapist was asked when sexual temptation would end. He smiled and said, "At the moment of death." However, he said, "You will experience change. At a future Thanksgiving dinner, you will reflect back and see that you have come a long way. You will realize that your investment in sobriety has loosened the bounds of addiction. You will realize, even though temptation has not ended, sexual addiction no longer holds you captive." Is it time to begin your journey? The lies sexually addicted men believe create a barrier to seeking help. Some of the lies are, "Nobody will find out," and "I am not really hurting anybody." Lies keep us from accepting the help we need. They are the excuses used to justify our need to continue sexually addictive behavior. Every rationalization that keeps a sexually addicted man from accepting help is a bold-faced lie. Is it time for you to give up your lies and accept help? It is hard for sexually addicted men to visualize life further down the recovery road. Picture road with many potholes. Early on in the recovery journey, the potholes are quite large, and each time we fall into one, we need the helping hand of a counselor or accountability partner to pull us back onto the road. As time goes by, climbing out of the pothole requires less help. Eventually, we see the potholes coming and are able to navigate around them. While the potholes continue during our journey, the day comes when they are no longer big enough to cause us difficulty. Are you ready to begin the journey to sexual sobriety? Notes. The book, Recovery from Sexual Addiction, A Man's Guide, was published May 3rd, 2012. Since then, updated information has become available, and source material is more current. For example, the updated version of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition, text revision, was recently published. Dr. Patrick Carnes is a leading contemporary theorist on sexual addiction. He is quoted frequently in this book. The senior editor at Gentle Path Press and the International Institute for Trauma and Addiction Professionals has approved on my behalf of Dr. Carnes my use of his concepts and adaptations for all of my books, including this one.